Did you know Bushwick Bill shot himself in the eye and tried to throw a baby out of the window during a drunken rage? He even wrote a song about it. A really good song called Everclear. Because allegedly he was drinking Everclear, which is an alcoholic beverage that is literally flammable. See, the regular alcohol that you and I drink, some Jack Daniels whiskey, maybe some Grey Goose vodka, a little gin, it's usually 80 proof. Everclear is 190 proof, which is literally 95% alcohol. So imagine little Bushwick Bill drinking this on a Sunday afternoon while he's watching the Houston Rockets. Yeah, it's not going to turn out good. So the song Everclear, great song. Me and my brother played it a lot when we were younger and play it to this day. It was created and inspired by these real events. The track is essentially a chilling autobiographical story about Bill's real-life experience with Everclear. The song isn't just entertainment, it's a raw confession about substance abuse, depression, and self-destruction, delivered with Bill's trademark dark humor mixed with horrorcore style narration. In 1991, Bushwick Bill, then a member of the Geto Boys, was going through a spiral of alcoholism, depression, and personal issues. After drinking Everclear mixed with beer, Bill got into an argument with his girlfriend. In a drunken rage, he demanded she take his life. During the incident, he was shot in the eye. Now, some accounts say he forced her hand. Others say it was self-inflicted. Miraculously, Bill survived, but he lost his right eye and he wore a glass prosthetic for the rest of his life. This incident was so central to his story that the cover of the Geto Boys' 1991 album, We Can't Be Stopped, shows him being wheeled through the hospital with his bandmates Willie D and Scarface at his side. Eye patch, hospital gown, and all. Keep in mind, this is 1991. That was very, very shocking. Nowadays, everyone comes with the shock factor. But back then, this was a big deal. Even by Geto Boy standards, the song and the following album cover were extreme. He was mixing humor with suicide and alcoholism, which is something that just really wasn't done that much back then. And of course, Rap-A-Lot Records, Mr. J. Prince, being a smart man that he is, he leaned into the notoriety. I mean, they knew the story would sell records. And it did. News stories all over the country were talking about it, calling them irresponsible for putting an album out like this where a man has a bandage over his eye because he just got caught for trying to take a gun or whatever the situation was. That the news did not appreciate that. But Everclear, the song, the track became one of Bushwick Bill's signature solo songs. It was representing his blend of horror, comedy, and painful truth. It also cemented his reputation as the most unpredictable member of the Geto Boys. There are so many Bushwick Bill stories. This is just the first one, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do another story on Bushwick Bill because he has some interesting stories that have been told by a lot of people in the industry. He was an interesting guy, man. But this Everclear song, it stands as one of the earliest hip-hop songs to tackle mental health, addiction, and suicidal ideation head on. Despite the incident, Bushwick remained active with the Geto Boys, continuing to record and tour. And of course, he leaned into the one-eyed rapper image, making it part of his persona. I've heard many rappers say he would just pop it out while they're sitting there puffing and drinking, and he would just pop his eye out and put it on the table and freak everybody out. But apparently Bushwick later became a born-again Christian, which is very hard to think, being that he is one of the creators of this horrorcore genre that touched on a lot of different topics, including the afterlife, including Satan and things like that. But yeah, he became a born-again Christian. He distanced himself from his earlier horrorcore content, although Everclear remained a major part of his legacy. Bill passed away in 2019. Can't believe it's been that long. From pancreatic cancer. But Everclear and the story behind it will remain as one of the most legendary and tragic tales in hip-hop history. What do you guys think out there? Were you a big Geto Boys fan? I know I was. That was one of the first tapes my mom ever bought me. My mind's playing tricks on me as early as I can remember. That's one of my earliest hip-hop memories. I believe I got the tape for Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. She let me pick out a bunch of tapes. She wrapped them up, and then I got to listen to them the day after Christmas. And I tell you, when I heard that Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, I was 10, 11, let's go maybe 11 or 12. And my mind was blown. I was blown away by what I was hearing. And it was just a cool story they were telling. I'm literally remember listening to this very song right now in the driveway of a little duplex thing that we lived in during that time. But shout out to Bushwick Bill. He brought a lot of entertainment to hip hop. He brought a lot of fun and great stories. Here we are talking about this song years after he passed away. So shout out to Bushwick Bill, and shout out to the whole Geto Boys in general. Scarface, one of the GOATs. Scarface, top 10 in a lot of people's categories. Definitely a top 10 contender. And shout out to Willie D doing his thing on the podcast scene. And shout out to you guys for checking out the show. And please, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. What are some of your favorite diss songs? Comment down below. Let's go to another one of my favorite diss songs, man. I'm just going in regular order. Like, in these, a lot of these, once again, they're not going to be on lists that you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone knows the top 10 diss list, right? And a couple of mine are on there. You know what I'm saying? We'll get to that later. But my diss songs are probably not going to be on the conventional top 10 of all diss songs. But my next one would have to be Record Haters by E40. What? E40 has a diss track? Man, E40 smashed a few people on this diss song called Record Haters. If you're an E40 fan and you don't know about that song, I highly suggest you go check it out. E40 is one of my favorites of all time. One thing I love about E40 is he's been rapping the same way since 1988. You pop in an E40 tape from 1991 and you pop in an E40 tape from 2018, it's gonna sound like E40 in 2025. One of the dopest, one of my favorites, and I've always loved his different style. But not many people always liked E40. And I remember people back in the day saying E40 was whack. Man, look, you could say whatever you want. You could say you don't like his style. You could say he annoys you. You could say you hate how he says fasheezy, deezy, my kneesy, or whatever. But one thing you can't say is E40's whack, especially if you're, you know what I'm saying, a true hip-hop fan. There are people I like, I didn't really like, I didn't care for, but I would never call them whack. Like, I was never a big DMX fan. I was like, I didn't understand a lot of the big deal about DMX. I didn't appreciate it, as I should say. But that doesn't mean he's not one of the greatest. I mean, when I hear DMX buzz bars, I'm like, oh, that dude got it. But I just wasn't, for whatever reason, it didn't connect to me. You know what I mean? But a lot of people didn't like E40, especially a lot of people on the East Coast. That's right. And people were talking bad about E40. Biggie said something bad about E40. And yeah, that didn't go too well for Biggie when he came out to the West Coast.
We head out, get to the back. The limousine is there, but the driver's gone. All of a sudden, you start hearing the trunks of cars opening. You just hear boom, 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 boom. Like, what the hell is that? And you just hear. I turn around, I'm like, oh shit. It's a gang of dudes with guns. They come up and they just very irate. That was some bullshit your man said in the newspaper. He did the article about my man. We getting ready to get him. I said, you know what? Get that man on the phone. I think that man and Big need to talk.
So they called me and he put me on the phone, say, man, what's happening? What was up with that, situation? Man, they got me real drunk, man, and I just got to saying anything, man, and what else he said? He said, man, Duke, he said, I f*** with Sprinkle Me Duke. I rock with Sprinkle Me Duke. You know what I mean? And I was like, ooh, I didn't trip. I was like, man, let him. I told him, I said, put my folks on the phone.
But another rapper from the East Coast, Dope MC, he decided to make a comment in a magazine about E40. And that comment didn't sit well with E40. Basically called him whack.
Nigga said some negative shit about me up in a magazine.
E40 had a verse and it started off and it went something like this. He said, got another motherfucker on my shit list. I'ma cut off his dick list. I mean my hit list, my rest in piss list. Dude that be hanging around Nas, gay baby. Nigga said some negative shit about me up in a magazine called 4080 after watching New York Undercover when I was taking a shit. Cool Keith was on the front cover. That's when I spotted him. That nigga AZ tried to say that I don't deserve a platinum plat. Nigga, I was selling tapes out the trunk of my car when you was running around drinking Similac. All up in your fake ass videos. Champagne popping full of skrill. Knowing damn well your punk ass ain't had no meal. I mean, E40 just destroyed AZ, dog. Can we dissect that verse? And how E40 raps so fast, but he is so clear. Can we dissect that verse? He said, I got another motherfucker on my shit list. Oh, and what he meant by another mother effer was because in the first verse, he dissed Rasheed Wallace. Because Rasheed Wallace was talking trash as well. He was the one saying Goody Mob is trash and all that. And then he said, I don't fool with E40.
It was my rookie season. Okay. And Rap City. Okay. Shout out to my man, Big Tig. So Tig was the host. So I remember going down there. We out at like a little playground and he hit me with the, so he like, man, I noticed you like hip hop. I see you before the game. You bobbing your head back and forth. He's like, what's some of the music you listening to? I was like, well, I rock with Redman. I fuck with Wu-Tang, Biggie, all of this. I was like, and then I was like, yeah, I don't listen to the E40s and a Goody Mob. And then so, he was like, oh, okay. And then it took off from there.
So E40 started out with Rasheed Wallace, but the second verse, the one that I just recited and the one that we're going to dissect right now, dissing AZ, Nas's protege, right? From The Firm. We know about The Firm. Firm was hard. Foxy Brown, AZ and Nas. Great album in my opinion. But he said, got another motherfucker on my list. I'm going to cut off his dick list. I mean my hit list, my rest in piss list. He said, dude that be hanging around Nas, gay baby. Nigga said some negative shit about me up in a magazine called 4080. A magazine called 4080. If you know about 4080, you are a true West Coast hip hop fan, especially if you do not live on the West Coast or in the Midwest or something like that, because 4080 was the lick, and that was another one of those magazines. It was not The Source, it was not Vibe where people pay to get in and stuff like that, or the only certain people you're gonna see. No, in magazines like 4080, that's where you're gonna learn about the clique. That's where you're gonna learn about E40 and Mac Dre and Crucial Conflict. That's where you're going to learn about artists like that the Vibe and The Source won't put in. That's where you're going to learn about the artists that the streets are talking about. Magazines like 4080 and Murder Dog. Come on now. If you know your real hip hop, you know about those two magazines. But AZ was in a magazine called 4080 talking crap about E40. He said, I was watching New York Undercover when I was taking his shit. Cool Keith was on the front cover. That's when I spotted him. That nigga AZ tried to say that I don't deserve a platinum plaque. Nigga, I was selling tapes out the trunk of my car when you was running around drinking Similac. He said, boy, if you don't sit down, AZ. He said, AZ, sit. Yo, let me little boy you, dog. He said, let me little boy you. He said, I was selling tapes out of the trunk of my car when you was running around drinking Similac, son. When I heard that, I'm like, damn, because everyone knows that's where E40 came from. E40 sold hundreds of thousands of tapes before he even blew up. And then he says to AZ, says, champagne popping full of skrill. Nigga, know damn well your punk ass ain't had no meal. He said, boy, if you don't sit down, AZ, real quick, you don't even got a meal. He said, Big Bang, take Lil Bang. He said, you guys remember playing, let's play Big Bang, take Lil Bang, man. You know, you got $2 in your pocket. Your broke friend got $1.17, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Both y'all broke as hell, but you play Big Bang, take Little Bang. That was a game. He said, boy, I will Big Bang take Little Bang your little ass, AZ. And yeah, I never heard a word from AZ regarding E40 after that. And I guess AZ felt that since Biggie went after E40, that E40 was food and that E40 was going to, take it in stride. But E40 was like, nah, homie, nah. But yes, so that's also one of my favorite diss songs of all time. What are some of yours? Like I said, comment down below. Talk to me. Let me know what are some of your favorite diss songs of all time.